Just up the road from the historic Sutton Hoo ship burial lives 30-year-old George Ridgway. When he's not working with his dad at the family butcher's,
What have we got here?
Our new firecrackers. They're hotter than previous ones.
he's searching for ancient artefacts and has recently made his own remarkable discovery on Suffolk soil, a hoard of gold and silver Roman and Iron Age coins. His detectoring is inspired by everyone's favourite whip-wielding archaeologist.
Indiana Jones was my boyhood hero. It was Indy's adventures. It was hunting in the harsh conditions, uncovering mystic relics, you know, I loved it all. And I learnt to crack the whip when I was about 10, 11 years old. Got a Labrador called Indy.
He's always thought he's an adventurer. You can't do what George does unless it's a passion. I had a metal detector in 1981, I remember. Never found anything. And I gave up. You actually have to really work at it and get a feel for it.
George's hoard is currently being catalogued at the British Museum.
You heard from the British Museum yet?
Yeah, I got an email from them a couple of weeks ago, actually. That's going to the coroner, and that will be declared treasure, hopefully. So it's really exciting.
Today, George and his dad, David, are making the trip to Helen's surgery. If his vintage Land Rover can get them there, that is.
She's been a good old girl to you.
She's done well. She's done well.
They're bringing more objects to record that George found in the same field as his hoard. He's keen to know if the discoveries are related and what might have been happening on this land 2,000 years ago.
So, what have you got?
We've got some brooches from the Mid-Suffolk hoard site.
Oh, wow. I'll be interested to see those.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all really similar.
Yeah, they're all similar
Aren't
types,
they?
yep. And this is this lovely duck brooch.
Yes, and look with the orange enamel. Yeah.
And obviously this came from the same area as well. That's a lovely little vessel.
Yes, now do you know all about these?
Well, I believe they used to grind up a bit of charcoal with maybe a little droplet of fat and apply it to the eye.
Yes, so
Yeah.
they're for putting on various cosmetics,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
black eyeliner would have been
Yes.
one of them. So that's likely to be early Roman as well.
Early Roman as
isn't
well,
it?
yes.
Yeah. And remind me of the date of the coins in the hoard.
The latest coin is a denarius of Claudius, so
Okay.
it's about 46, 47 AD.
The discovery of George's hoard wasn't down to chance, but a reward for hundreds of hours of meticulous study.
I was researching Roman roads and ancient trackways, and I was actually looking at the satellite imagery, and I saw this strange crop mark in the corner of a field, and it turned out to be an old field pond. It's always worth a search, just because in antiquity, people actually buried hoards near water sources.
After gaining permission to detect from the landowner, within minutes of arriving at the field, George was on the treasure trail.
I came across a signal reading 81. 8081 means it might be silver. So my heart was racing, and I dug into what was very hard Suffolk clay, and there it was. 6 inches below the earth was a silver denarius.
First introduced around 211 BC to pay foreign mercenaries in the Roman army, the silver denarius went on to be the mainstay of the Roman economy for the next 400 years. And there were more to be found for George.
Within a few yards, I came across this area frenzied with signals. Silver denarii. Just when I thought, right, time to phone Dad now.
I got in the car, rushed round, and then I could see this figure in the distance, madly detectoring.
Oh, it's two stuck together. Oh my God.
And he put his hand in his bag and pulled out these silver coins. Well, one was amazing, but when you pull a handful, it's just ridiculous.
Got one. That was the exact spot where someone nearly 2,000 years ago buried their wealth. I was actually finding all these sherds of Roman pottery. There was actually one piece of the base still with silver denarii stuck inside. This was the point where I said to Dad, right, we've got to phone the archaeologists here, because if this hoard is somewhat intact, it needs to be excavated properly.
How many coins do you think are left in?
Well, I'm not sure. There might be 4 or 5. I don't know, but there are some left in there.
With the hoard site exposed and the Suffolk archaeologists not able to excavate immediately, the coins still in the ground were at risk of being plundered by archaeological thieves known as nighthawks.
Do you think anybody might know about it then?
I mean, they could do, because there's tractors driving by and...
Right, so somebody might have spotted you out there.
Yeah.
Nighthawks are the bane of the archaeological world. I just remember thinking, I've just made the find of my lifetime here, and it could easily be stolen from us.
In Suffolk, George Ridgway has uncovered a hoard of gold and silver Roman coins.
There we go.
But when darkness draws in, treasure left in the ground is vulnerable to nighthawks.
They're not just stealing it from me, they're stealing it from the landowner, the archaeologists, the public in general, because it's a find of national significance.
Armed with nothing more than a mobile phone and a nightcap, George's dad David gallantly stood guard until archaeologists could get there and excavate the remains of the hoard.
Because I was in celebratory mood, I drank a whole bottle of wine.
And fell asleep quite soon, did you?
I hope nobody finds out.
Yeah.
When the Suffolk Fines liaison officers began to excavate, the true scale of the hoard was revealed.
It actually turned out there was hundreds and hundreds left.
And some coins even predated the Roman occupation of Britain.
Iron Age coin.
No way.
Oh, you've got a lovely little
Oh my God.
It's a gold.
Yeah.
What's going on?
By the end of the excavation, we came to about 400 coins. But the hoard was actually scattered over the whole area of this field, really. I mean, it was vast. So the archaeologists left it down to me to find as many coins as I could. So for the last 3 months, I've been searching here a lot, and I've actually got the total up to 734 now. It's far bigger than I thought it ever was going to be. It's just kept producing. It's unbelievable, really.
George is still searching, but he's handed all the coins he's found so far over to the British Museum. And back at the Fine Surgery, Helen has news from the curator.
I gather that they've finished cataloguing them now, and so they have all the answers. And apparently it's not just the normal run of a Roman hoard. So I think, yes, if you could arrange a trip up to the British Museum, I think they'd very much like to see you.
Oh, you'll come, won't you? Yeah, great, yeah.
Excellent.
That's fantastic news.
The British Museum holds one of the largest historical collections relating to money in the world. But George's hoard would make a fine addition to any museum should they wish to acquire it. But there's another finder at today's surgery whose own discovery is enough to give George hoard envy.
Mine was Saxon and Norman pennies,
Yep.
coins of William the Conqueror and Harold Godwinson.
Yeah, amazing.
2,500.
2,500, oh really, yeah.
Over in Suffolk, George is heading back out to the site of his Roman coin hoard. He's been invited up to the British Museum to learn more about the history of the hoard. But as the coins were found scattered across the field from centuries of ploughing on the land, there could be more to find.
I'm up to 730 now. Just over 730 coins.
Goodness me. That's been a lot of digging, isn't it?
So much digging.
We've been through about 3 spades, haven't we?
We had.
I've been
Yeah.
through 2 pairs of shoes. I don't get any thanks for it. Steady.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not as young as you.
No, I know.
Today, David's coming out of metal detecting retirement to help unearth any last remnants of the hoard before making the trip to London.
Don't forget, I haven't done this since 1981.
Yeah. So this is the on button. 2 bleeps means it's on. It's literally just a slow sweep, so keeping the detector parallel to the ground.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
wait.
Yeah.
I've got something there. Can't see what the reading is.
Yeah, right. So that is actually
50
yeah.
iron.
Well, that's worth a dig, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's really
Yank it out. Yank it out.
How do you actually know that's iron then, Georgie?
It's that low buzz.
Right.
Might even be just a tiny bit of nail or something. A lot of timber frame buildings were made with iron nails, obviously, so it can be a sign of occupation as well. So there you go, look. Just a little bit of a corroded nail. First find since 1981.
Oh, wow. I better phone up the British Museum
Yeah,
then.
they'll be interested in that. Look
Yeah,
at that.
look at that.
It's not part of the hoard, but it's a find.
We better crack on and find some more stuff, shall we?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
That's it, keep it slowly. It's good, well done. It's getting the settings right,
Yeah.
it's keeping a nice rhythm on the swing.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of things that goes into it.
Just like his nail, after 4 decades, David's treasure detecting skills are a little rusty.
How you doing, Dad? You found anything?
Yeah. That's a cog.
Oh, you found a cog, have you?
Yeah, if you ever need a cog, I'm your man.
Off a tractor, eh?
Yeah. Probably 20s, some of that. I'd like to have that as a paperweight. It's funny how you've been on this field 100 times or something,
More than that now.
and I
Yeah.
spent a quarter of an hour here and I found
Yeah.
something
You found something
that you
yeah.
hadn't found.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have dug it. Anyway, you've done well, haven't you?
You really encouraged me.
Yeah.
Let's crack on, shall we?
Well done. Yeah.
Okay,
Carry on.
With George's hoard search drawing to a close, thoughts turn to who buried it 2,000 years ago.
So what do you reckon was actually happening on this field then, Georgie?
Well, you know where I found the Roman brooches?
Uh-huh.
I actually started coming across loads of early Roman pottery as well.
Yeah.
So it's all signs that something was actually happening here.
Yes.
Maybe someone's even living here.
He's hoping the British Museum will have the answers.
It's possible that this was a site of occupation. And did that mean the person who buried this hoard lived here? We don't know yet, but it's something to find out.
George Ridgway's Roman coin hoard has been cleaned and catalogued at the British Museum. And today, he's come up to London with his dad, David, hoping to discover if there are clues as to how it ended up in a field in Suffolk.
I've visited the British Museum so many times as a young boy, and to think that I'm actually here to see a hoard I found, it's amazing. It really is. This is the dream to come to the British Museum.
You don't get better than this, do
No.
you, Georgie? It actually feels like we're in our very own Indiana Jones film. I'm young enough, I think, to probably play the leading role, but no, maybe George should. Yeah, he's a hero.
Curator Eleanor Gay was tasked with identifying all 734
This is
coins.
my dad, David.
It's nice to meet you after hearing so much about your hoard.
Eleanor has confirmed that it's the largest hoard ever found in Britain from the reign of Claudius, the emperor that led the conquest of Britain in 43 AD.
Combines the local Iron Age coins and the Roman coins together. So that's what makes it really special. It says something about the Iron Age people living in Britain already and how they were becoming integrated into the Roman Empire and rejecting Roman coins or accepting Roman coins.
19 of the coins are Iron Age gold staters, struck at the command of a Celtic king before Claudius invaded.
They're all issued by Canobalin, who we don't know very much about, although he features a lot in later myths and stories and seems to have been perhaps an important Iron Age ruler. On one side, there's a depiction of a cornea, and it says Camu, C-A-M-U, which is the Latin Camulodunum, which we now know is modern-day Colchester. So he perhaps had a base in Colchester where these coins were being made. And there's a running horse. That's a very common theme in Iron Age coins. The horse is hugely important in Celtic society.
I mean, they're just wonderful coins. Beautiful.
The last Iron Age coins are really produced shortly after this point, then it became a proper Roman province. So it's just a little window into that period of change.
The bulk of the hoard is made up of 714 silver denarii.
We think a denarius is about perhaps a day's pay for a legionary soldier. That must have been someone's several years' wages, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, this is a lovely one, isn't it?
Eleanor has discovered that the Emperor Claudius appears more than once on some of the coins.
He's greeting the soldier of the Praetorian Guard.
Such a lovely image, isn't it? I remember finding it and I remember turning it over and just seeing two people holding hands. It was amazing, and it turned out to be Claudius.
It says something about the fact this is a time of war and a time of conquest,
Oh, that's
but
interesting.
he's also emphasising peace on his coins and the fact that this phase has ended.
Amazing, isn't it? I've often thought about this, who actually buried the hoard, but he could have been a soldier, couldn't he?
It's possible. It's a lot of money. I don't know whether it belonged to a single person or whether it was belonging to a community, perhaps. It might have been that it was all put into a vessel by a number of people and then buried. I think you mentioned this was found near a spring, which to me suggests there might be an element of religious or ritualised behaviour. We know that hoards were perhaps sometimes deposited or buried as an offering or something to bring luck.
The hoard has now been declared treasure, meaning museums have the opportunity to acquire it.
Because you've reported this, the Portable Antiquities Scheme, this will just add to our picture of the ancient past of this country. And I believe that there's a local museum interested in purchasing this.
It'd be lovely to see it in a museum behind glass. My local museum actually might be interested in acquiring it, which would be fantastic because it's such a big part of the area's history now.
George will receive a 50-50 split of the finder's reward with the landowner.
I know that I've made a big discovery here. It could be worth tens of thousands of pounds, but it's never been about the money. It'd just be lovely to see it displayed all together for everyone to see. That would make me very happy, because that's how I got started. I went to the British Museum when I was younger, and I dreamt of finding treasure. And I've done it, and I've added something to Roman history. It's wonderful.
Hey, Georgie, can you just stand there? That's right. Yeah.
Hand on bonnet.
Yeah, that will do well. That big smile.
Just every day, isn't it? Every day. Yeah. My next goal is to actually get something on display in the British Museum. That's what every metal detectorist dreams of, and one day that might happen. I'm going to have to keep searching.